Brian here. I want to talk to you today about how to put a false drawer front on a sink base cabinet. We get this question quite often. We've got a nice drawer front. There's no drawer box to mount it to. How do we mount this drawer in your sink base? And unless you're doing a tip-out tray, in which case that's self-explanatory and will someday be handled in a different video, you're going to want to mount that drawer right to the cabinet face. We're going to talk you through how to do that, but what you have to know is every sink base cabinet comes with these two little 3x5 pieces of half-inch plywood blocks. Looks like scrap. People open these boxes up all the time and say, oh, I don't want those. You do need these, and we'll show you how they're used right now. So if Jim, the cameraman, can step to the back of the cabinet, we're going to show you what happens. First thing we're going to do is take the blocks, and we're going to drill. We've already done this, but we're going to drill some pilot holes, about 3/8 of an inch in. Some quick little pilot holes on the long edge. You're going to do that on both blocks, and we're going to show you why right now. You need to screw those blocks to the back of the front frame. So get yourself some short screws. In this case we're using an 1¼ inch sheetrock screw, and just get that started in each hole. Like so. And now, this is where the cameraman is going to have a tougher time. So we'll move to the inside of the cabinet. And these blocks go in the back side. Stick it right up tight to the bottom of your spreader strip and right up tight to the side of the cabinet. And what we're going to do is we're going to screw these blocks to the back of the front frame. Just snug them up. There's no need to really horse them on there. Just get them a little snug. Going to do the same thing on the other side. For the last minute and a half you've been asking, why did we do that? Well, the reason is you have to have some way to hold that drawer front on, especially on a half-inch overlay cabinetry. If you try to mount that drawer front, you don't have enough meat on the back of the drawer front to catch if you came through the back of the front frame. So this block gives you a little more material going to the inside, and you can come through the block into the back of the drawer front. And that's what we're going to do now. In our demonstration here, we've got a slab drawer front, so it's very, very easy to do. If you're doing a 5-piece drawer where it's got a floating center panel, you have to be very careful where that screw comes in, because you could come in on the face of the door or drawer front. You have a panel raised. You don't want to come through that thin part of the panel. The screw tip will poke through. So you want to keep your screws as far to the outside as you can. If it's a 5-piece drawer front, you want to catch the outside frame rail, not into the panel area. You want to be as far to the outside as you can. So, if Jim can step back around this side, a couple things we're going to do here is you do want to put door bumpers on the back of this drawer front, because you want to keep the front of this at the same distance as your doors, and your doors have these 1/8 inch thick door bumpers on them. So again, you can get these door bumpers at Home Depot or Lowe's. Very inexpensive, and it's one of the few things that doesn't come with your cabinet kit, so you do have to buy these. I'm just going to go ahead and put one on each corner. We're going to take our, again, we're doing full overlay, so we're using a 1/2 inch spacer here, and we're just going to take the drawer front and set it on that spacer. Get our alignment with the door below it dead on, and then hold it tight to the cabinet face. And you can use a clamp if you want, if you're concerned about the drawer front falling away, or you can get a helper to hold it. And we are just going to take some 2-inch screws and go through the back of the block into the drawer front. And what we typically do is do one on each side to hold it in place, and you can come back and put more in if you'd like. Doesn't matter where these go, as long as they're in the block. And again, as long as when you're screwing the screw in, you're not in a panel area. You'll see it on a 5-piece drawer front. You'll see the back of the panel. You'd want to be more to the outside if you were doing a 5-piece drawer. In our case, because it's a slab, it doesn't really matter. And just run that in until we see that drawer front suck on nice and tight. This one over here needs to be tightened up a little more, and then Jim can come around to the front and show us the finished product. Now we have a drawer front mounted with a gap behind it, a 1/2 inch gap, dead on all the way across, because we used our spacer. It's held on nice and tight from behind, so this can't ever fall off. A lot of stock box cabinets that you get from Home Depot, these are held on with plastic clips. The plastic gives away over time, the drawer front falls off. We get that call all the time. In this case, it's a hard fastener. You're actually screwing this thing on from behind, so it'll never fall off.